we have a serious fucking issue, not just in the United States, but the whole entire world, with this new generation, the teens, the 20s, the 30s even, of people who just want to use mental illness as a cop-out. No, mental illness is a very, very prevalent term these days, and anytime anything bad happens to anyone, whether they go down a poor path in their life or they do, bad crimes, whatever it might be, mental illness is the quickest cop-out and most disgusting cop-out I keep seeing over and over and over. And it's just these people who live very miserable lives and just blame it on mental illness. And I want to tell you right now, I don't believe we have a mental illness problem. I believe we have a mental weakness problem. And I say this as someone with experience because I was there in that position once. Everybody, for some reason, wants to be diagnosed these days. Everyone feels like as soon as they have any type of little hardship in their life, it's a mental illness. They have depression, they have anxiety, they're blaming it on the way they grew up, family problems, blah, blah, whatever it might fucking be. It's pretty fucking annoying. Everyone has ADHD these days and wants to blame that for their shortcomings. It's fucking crazy. It's sad. It's embarrassing. And like I said, I say this as someone with experience. I want to tell you a bit about my story as well. Growing up, I was self-diagnosed. I self-diagnosed myself with depression and anxiety because growing up, I was that typical very skinny kid in high school. Puberty started hitting me. I was super skinny. I was getting really bad fucking acne. And my life just fucking tanked when I hit high school. I didn't have many friends at all. I couldn't make any friends because I was very, very self-conscious with the way I looked, the way I acted. Everything about me, every word that came out of my mouth was super, super just self-conscious. I was embarrassed of everything I did. Embarrassed of my family for some reason. I was embarrassed just of me, just existing. Everything I did, the way I walked, the way I dressed. And, throughout high school, I eventually started just being very miserable where I'd go home and I'd genuinely cry at the end of each day. I was crying nearly every day of the week when I get home from school, and eventually I started working. So I'd work, school, work, home, cry, sleep. School, work, maybe get home and game a bit, cry, sleep. It was a really miserable fucking cycle. And in those moments, I was self-diagnosing myself with depression. Was it depression or not? I don't know. But I felt very, very depressed in those moments. I felt very, very depressed growing up. I felt very lonely, very depressed. I felt very miserable with who I was. And in those times, it's very easy to just feel like to just hate the world. Feel like the world's against you. Feel like your family's against you. Feel like, the cards were not dealt in your favor. And it's very easy. I could see how easy it is to go down a path where you feel like you are mentally ill. And the dangerous part about that is you start connecting with these communities of people, especially online, that start agreeing with you, feeling like I'm in the same boat. And a lot of people are in the same boat. And you begin forming these communities online of, all these people who feel like they are mentally ill and just start hating the fucking world. But the issue with this is a lot of these people, including myself, just wanted sympathy from the world. They just wanted to be diagnosed, told, oh man, that sucks, bro. I feel you. Yeah, you're in a bad spot. That sucks. They just want sympathy. I wanted sympathy. And that's a huge problem with today's world is I feel like everybody wants some type of sympathy for their hardships. And I'm mainly speaking to men here because stop being a fucking bitch, first of all. If I went down that path of constantly wanting sympathy, I wouldn't be where I am now. I wouldn't be working out right now. I wouldn't be pursuing my passion right now. I wouldn't be trying to make some sort of impact right now. I would be too embarrassed to make these videos despite getting 10 fucking views right now if I went down that path. And so what I tell you right now is we have a huge issue with mental weakness and we are lacking role models in this area. And that's the thing, hate him or not, people like Andrew Tate really helped a lot of young men in the world to, instead of diagnosing themselves and going down this dark path where they just constantly want sympathy from everyone, to stop seeking that shit and start manning the fuck up and start acting like a man. Grow up. Shit's gonna be hard. Oh, fucking well. And this isn't to discredit actual mental illness, but this is mainly to say that 90% of people don't need to be diagnosed. They don't need sympathy. And if they had a role model in their life, if they had a vision of what they could be in their life, it's a much healthier path to go down than just begging for people to, feel bad for you, feel sympathetic towards you, because I promise you right now, I am so much more fulfilled on the path I went down. I'm so much more fulfilled that I fought that mental weakness. I'm so much more fulfilled that I had a vision for who I wanted to be. I had a vision where I was jacked. I had a vision where I was able to get a fucking girl. In those moments, I got no female attention. I was a twig, no female attention. I wasn't going out. I had hardly a social life, just an online gaming life. It was sad. It was miserable. I'll tell you right now, it's miserable, especially when you're surrounded by people, who you see living their best life. And this isn't just about being in school. This is like anywhere. If you're on social media and you're miserable, you could see everyone else on social media living their best life. It's very, very fucking hard to feel just so inferior in society like this. And when you feel inferior, like I said, it's really easy just to want sympathy from others. But what good does that do for you? Seriously, what good does it do for you? Let's say everyone feels bad, bro. They're like, damn, Mikey, like, yeah, that shit sucks. I mean, like, your self-esteem, life is hard for you. That does suck, bro. Okay, moving on. Wow, so my phone just overheated here, and before that happens again, I want to get my main message across here, which is that your mind is your biggest enemy. Your mind is going to beg for sympathy. It's going to beg for you to find people who relate to you. It's going to beg for community. It's going to make you not want to fight back. But I promise you, if you refuse to fight back, you are in for a life of misery. You are in for a life where you don't go to sleep proud. You go to sleep angry at the world for the way you are. You want to blame the world for the way you are rather than fighting back to go to sleep proud and fulfilled in your day-to-day life. And that is a life of misery. So refuse to believe that you have this mental illness. Start calling it mental weakness, because you can control mental weakness. You can grow out of mental weakness. You can actually do something about it. And like I said, it's so much more fulfilling. What side do you want to be on? Do you want to be on the side that begs for sympathy? Do you want to be on the side that has a community of people who are all living miserable lives that they're not proud of, but at least they have each other? Or do you want to be on the side that fights back against that mindset? Do you want to be on the side of people who actually transformed and grew out of that person they were, who has an actual story to tell now because they were able to fight back and become people they were actually proud of, who are now impacting and providing value to the world? I mean, I'm sure that speaks for itself, right? But refuse mental illness because it's mental weakness. And that is the biggest problem we have for young men, for young people in the world nowadays. But that's all I have to say now. I'm gonna head home now and be grateful to live another day.